Hi everyone, I'm Jen from Around the World in 80 Cakes, and this is part 2 of how to make cake pops. In the last video, I showed you how I form my cake pops, and we actually left off with them in the fridge overnight so that they got nice and chilled and are ready to dip in chocolate. So if you didn't see that video, check out my YouTube channel or go to www.80cakes.com and you can find it there. But today we're going to be dipping cake pops in chocolate. So I have my cake pops. And in this bowl, I have just regular chocolate chips, about 4 ounces, that I melted in the microwave. And I melted it in a microwave-safe bowl, half power. That's important because full power could burn your chocolate. So half power, about 30-second intervals, stirring in between until it's nice and melted. And to that 4 ounces, I added 2 teaspoons of shortening. Now that's important for a couple reasons. One, when the chocolate hardens, it won't be super hard. It'll keep it a little soft, which is nicer when biting into a cake pop. And 2, regular chocolate actually has to be melted a special way, and it's called tempering. And I won't get into all the details of how you do that because it can get a little complicated, but if you've ever had a chocolate bar melt on you and then you throw it in the fridge, and when you try it out, it's like all streaky and kind of brittle, that's because it wasn't melted properly. So with adding the shortening, you don't actually have to worry about that, which is nice. So 2 options there, or 2 reasons that are great there. The other thing you can do if you don't want to use regular chocolate, or if you want something a little more colorful, is you can use these different wafers called candy coating. And they come in a number of different colors, which is nice. So you can usually find those at your craft stores, or if there's a craft aisle in one of those big box type stores, they usually have those in a variety of colors, and then you can make your cake pops more colorful. So today I'm going to use regular chocolate though. So I have my cake pops, my chocolate, and my lollipop sticks to actually put them on. So I like to use 6-inch lollipop sticks. They're nice and long, so you can, as you can see, put them in a nice display, which we'll get to in a minute. So I'm going to take my lollipop stick, and I'm just going to gently swirl the end of it in the chocolate. And that basically gives you a nice little base for the cake pop to attach to. And then I'm going to just take one of my pops and slide the stick into it. Kind of form it around, make sure it's in all the way and that it's secure. And then I'm going to tilt my bowl so I get all my chocolate to the end, and I'm just going to start to dip and swirl my cake pop in there. Make sure you get your ends on. Get the bottom all done, and once it's nice and coated, then I start to tap. And that's so you get all that excess chocolate off that you don't really need on there, because there's a lot of thick chocolate on there. And I'll spin it and tap it again on the other side just to make sure it's all off and it's all even. And if you get a little bit on the stick, that's okay. You can always wipe that off once it's hardened to make the stick look a little bit neater. Alright, so once it's nice and even and well coated, now you can actually add some decoration. So I have a couple of different kinds of sprinkles here. You can choose to dunk the whole cake pop in. I find that that's a little bit too much, so I actually like to just grab some and just sprinkle a little bit on top like so. And it gets a little messy, but that's why I have a little bowl underneath to sort of catch them. But I think that's a nice look, not too many sprinkles on there. And then I put it into a piece of styrofoam. So you can find these again at your craft stores, even if you get a packaging or something, like a package in the mail that has some styrofoam in it, you can use whatever works. Just slide it right in there and then let it sit. So I don't put these in the fridge because I find the moisture gets the chocolate kind of weird, so I just let them sit out in a cool, dry place overnight until they get nice and hard. And then you can choose what you want to do with them. You can make a display out of styrofoam and stick them right in there bare. I like to buy little cello bags. Again, you can find them at the craft stores, usually the small kind, and wrap each one in a cello bag with a nice little piece of ribbon. Whatever you really want to do. So lots of options. You can check out my website, 80cakes.com. I have a couple of different cake pop designs on there. And you can always email me if you have any problems or questions, Jen at 80cakes.com. Thanks and happy baking.